which have short and determined harvest periods. The longer the trees remain in the ground, the more they accumulate wood volume and the more money they will produce. Therefore, we can determine the most favorable period for selling the timber. A great advantage of teak is that its bark contains a protective ingredient. Once the tree is into its third year, teak trees are largely undamaged by fire. This brings tremendous security to the investor. Teak wood also possesses a natural repellent that hinders termite activity, which is also what makes it more attractive to investors and consumers. Here is a look at the development of Nemus teak plantations at different stages. In Brazil, 20 to 25-year teak trees achieve the same diameters as 50 to 60-year trees in Asian forests. Eucalyptus requires different handling. Pruning is not required, as it occurs naturally, and thinning is not necessary as the tree's total cycle is short, only 7 years. In the 7th year, the trees are cut and the cycle begins again. Eucalyptus versatility means changes can be adopted in handling so as to take advantage of market opportunities. Nemus can choose a longer growth cycle by conducting thinning operations, or a shorter cycle by conducting the final cut at an earlier tree age and adapting the wood for different consumer markets. Let's have a look at various Nemus eucalyptus plantations at different stages. In Brazil, the eucalyptus cycle takes on average 7 years, while in Europe, the same development requires 20 to 25 years. Now let's talk about one of Nemus' environmental recovery projects. Here, a hydroelectric plant was developed which called for the flooding of over 1,400 hectares of land. It had a direct environmental impact in the region. In Brazil, it is required by law to conduct actions that diminish these negative environmental effects. Before the flooding, Nemus collected species of unique plants in the region and housed them in its nurseries. When the lake developed, Nemus created a plantation with native species. The reforested section is 60 kilometers long and over 100 meters wide, containing over 850,000 seedlings. For the plantation, Nemus went to its nurseries, which supplied approximately 150 species of native plants of the specific ecosystem. True forestry engineering was required, since the objective was that this area was to be transformed into a natural forest again, with full biodiversity, as fast as possible. Each species, however, contains specificities that demand conditions that favor its development. Some species need considerable light to develop. Other species need shade. Therefore, it is necessary to plant seedlings in a way that meets the unique requirements of each species. An arrangement was developed for first planting trees that need more light, while others that need shade to develop are planted around and under those primary and faster-growing trees. In this way, each group of trees will play its role in the recovery of the environment. The pioneers develop quickly, providing shade so that the others can develop in a second phase, and this cycle perpetuates. When the trees are of a certain size, Nemus reintroduces the unique species of that region that have been collected previously. As the years go by, the trees start to produce their own seeds and fruit that permit the germination of new trees. This cycle continues until after many years a forest is recreated, such as it may have existed many years ago. As seeds and fruit are produced, animals begin to use the environment. Some bring with them other seeds of species that do not originate here, and the biodiversity develops further. Environmental recovery prevents excessive sediment from entering the rivers, generates better environmental conditions, along with preservation of the fauna and flora. As Brazil and this region develop economically, the demand and indeed the need for these services increase dramatically. private companies, the state of Mato Grosso, and the Brazilian government all recognize that they have a social responsibility to preserve the wealth of the nature while simultaneously providing for the need of a growing population. NEMIS is positioned to help both public and private sectors to achieve these goals. This is how NEMIS works. Its products and services, indeed, its contributions to a growing region, are possible only because of the know-how and dedication of all the members of the NEMIS team. The results that have been achieved over the past few years indicate that the combination of plantation-grown timber in a forest-friendly environment combined with the ability to provide unique and demanded services in an eco-challenged region can be a winning combination for success. NEMIS features potentially above-average returns, relatively low risk, and the chance for an investor to truly contribute to a better, more sustainable environment. NEMIS, helping to create a better world for future generations.